Good morning from New Road, Worcester, where play is about to get underway on the fourth and final day of the England Lions against Sri Lanka game, with England Lions resuming on their overnight second innings score of 47 for 2. The not-out batsman Rob Yates on 17 and Hamza Shaikh on 8. The Lions require a further 75 runs to wrap up a win here. Can't see them having too much trouble, although you never know. They are young. A couple of early wickets might just disturb them slightly, but they are hot favourites for victory, I would say. The bowling from the New Road end is going to be taken up by the left arm spinner Jayasuriya, who bowled pretty well in the first Lions innings. Picked up 5 for 102 in that innings. So far in this innings, just the 2 overs, and he's gone for 6. And he'll be bowling to Rob Yates, the left-handed Warwickshire opening batsman, and he will bowl over the wicket from the New Road end. Keeper standing up, 1 slip. Close catches at extra cover and short mid-wicket as well. He's in now and bowls. And an appeal for LBW as Rob Yates plays forward, but umpire Rob Bailey unimpressed. Clearly, watching the replay, that was outside leg stump, that appeal of the previous delivery. This time Yates gets a bat on it. And the first run of the morning, clipped up to mid-on by Yates, takes him on to 18. Hamza Shaikh, top scorer in the first innings. A beautiful 91. Very patient innings. He faced 204 balls. Just on 8 overnight. Jayasuriya round the wicket to him. And he is solidly forward to his first ball of the morning. Last ball of the first over of the day, pushed out on the offside by Hamza Shaikh. So there we are, 1 over on this last day completed, just 1 run scored, 74 more needed by the Lions for victory. Not many spectators in the ground, as you can imagine, not many press in the press box, not many commentators here in the commentary box, just me on my own, expecting this to be wrapped up fairly shortly. I'd be surprised if we haven't got it completed by lunch. My name is Frank Watson, usually covering Worcestershire on the BBC, but filling in for the club here on the live stream at Visit Worcestershire New Road. Ratnayaka will bowl from the Diglis end. Bowled really well, I thought, in the first innings. Ratnayaka picked up only 1 for 65, but didn't really do him justice, that. In fact, I think he might have got 2, but didn't do him justice. He bowled a lot better than that, and he went past the bat on a number of occasions. No, it was 1 for 65. And that, yeah, as I say, didn't really do him justice. Troubled most of the Lions batsmen at one time or another that he bowled at in that first innings. 48 for 2. His first ball of the day is dropped down on the leg side by Rob Yates, and there's no run. Good morning to Neil Whittle on the live chat. Says thanks for the commentary. A pleasure, Neil. You can also get in touch with me on Twitter if you'd like to, or X. I am at Frank Watson 58 on Twitter, at Frank Watson 58. Always happy to interact with viewers and listeners, provided they're nice. Here's Ratnayaka again from the Diglis end, and Yates drops that down behind square on the offside. They scamper through for a quick single. Good running. Hamza Shaikh responding to Yates' call. They know each other well, these two, both Warwickshire players. Shaikh a little bit younger than Yates, but they'll be familiar with each other, having played a lot of cricket at Edgbaston and in the Warwickshire development sides. Little punch of the gloves between the two. Just checking that both happy with that single that was taken. 49 for 2. Shaikh will now take guard at the New Road end for the first time on this fourth and final day. Beautiful weather. Very, very nice cricket weather this. Just the right temperature. Not too hot, but bright and sunny. And the ground looks a picture. Ratnayaka bowls and Shaikh leaves alone outside the off stump. Hamza Shaikh just taking time out to remove a glove and settle himself down. And he gets his first run of the morning with a nice controlled little push out on the offside off the back foot. And the 50 is up for the Lions in this second innings. 50 for 2. Needing a further 72 to win it. And Rob Yates steers the fifth ball of that over down to third man for a single. Takes him on to 20. Good player, Rob Yates, left-hander. Capable of scoring very quickly in white ball cricket, but also capable of playing very important, long, meaningful innings in the red ball game as well. A man for all seasons, as far as Warwickshire are concerned. Also bowls some good off breaks, good slip catcher, good all-round cricketer, Rob Yates. Good pace from Ratnayaka this last ball, but Shaikh allowing it through outside the off stump. End of the over. 51 for 2, 71 more needed. Sarai to continue. Yates drives nicely up to mid-on for a single. Sarai to continue. Yates drives nicely up to mid-on for a single. Neil Whittle asking about the pitch potentially at Old Trafford, as this one is beautifully lifted over mid-on for 4. By Hamza Shaikh, excellent shot. Well, Neil, I don't know. I would say probably a pitch that will easily last long enough for the test match to reach its natural conclusion. Whether that be 5 days or not, we'll have to wait and see. Might be a good surface to bat on to start with, might take a little bit of spin towards the end. It's usually a pretty good surface at Old Trafford in Manchester. But as for what attacks Lanka should pick, Neil, I have no idea. I think you'd probably want a balanced attack, I would say, with 3 4-seamers and at least 1 frontline spinner. One thing you do know, if you're playing against England these days, is that they're going to come at you pretty hard with the bat right from the start. Whatever lineup they choose, that's the way they play, and they're going to have some pace, I would say, in their bowling attack. Playing with a lot of confidence at the moment, England, of course. End of the over, 56 for 2, the Lions. 66 more needed. And first sign of real aggression there from Hamza Shaikh with that lofted drive over mid-on for 4 in that last over. Yates just checking his guard as Ratnayaka has decided to go round the wicket. 2 slips and a very square gully, the only close fielders. Yates just pushing that down to that gully fielder. Again, just happy to push that one away defensively. Rob Yates, no rush whatsoever for these batsmen. Although I suspect as they get closer to the target, we might see a little bit more aggression. That's a really good one from Ratnayaka, climbing past the outside edge. Good pace, good bounce. Going back to what attack Sri Lanka should pick for the test at Manchester, well, on the strength of what I've seen here at New Road in this game, this man Ratnayaka would certainly be up there with the best of the seamers.
Thank you.
Good over this so far. Yates unable to get anything away. And again, Ratnaika right on the spot with that one. Robbie Yates getting nothing that he can score off so far in this over. Ooh, nasty one from Ratnaika. That bounced quite sharply. Robbie Yates played it well, but a painful bang on the left thumb, I think, for the Warwickshire opener. Went through the top a bit, that one. It's not been the best surface, this at New Road. On the first day we thought one or two stopped in the surface. There were as many as 4 cordon bowls in the first inning. It's not been a minefield, I'm not suggesting that, but the old one has just misbehaved, and there's been a little bit of sideways movement for the bowlers, prompting questions as to what we might expect here later this week, for middle of next week, for the championship game against Kent. And Yates perhaps a little perturbed by that blow on the hand. Plays an uncharacteristically loose shot to the last ball, misses it. End of the over, 57 for 2. But I will just say once again, for anybody watching all over the world, people in Sri Lanka might not realise the troubles that they've had on this ground this winter. 8 times it flooded, the last of them just before the start of the season. So, and when I say flooded, I don't just mean it got wet, I mean it was under several feet of water. So the ground staff have had a huge amount of difficulty here this year, and given what they've had to work with, the pitches have actually been pretty good. Jayasuriya will continue bowling to Shaikh, and Shaikh is forward and pushing out on the onside, and they go through for a quick single. Good running, good understanding, as I've said, between these two. Score goes on to 57 for 2, so just 10 added, 58 for 2, 11 added this morning, and 64 more needed. They won't rush. Field is fairly well spread for Yates, facing Jayasuriya over the wicket. Got a long on and long off back, in fact long off being brought back up into the circle. As I speak, one slip still in. 2 men on the drive at close mid on and sort of mid wicket, and Yates plays a very clever, deft little leg plans, a paddle sweep for 2 runs. Nicely played by Yates, using his white ball skills. Goes back to this one, plays it off the pitch. Two more here for Yates, steered away on the offside. drives this one to mid-off, but no run. And a nice shot here from Yates, beautifully steered, made sure he found the gap on the offside there, uses his feet really nicely, and his first boundary of the morning. Just the first signs that these two are settling in and beginning to push the scoring rate along. So just 56 more needed now by the Lions. Yates has moved on to 29, 66 for 2 at the end of that over. That was a lovely shot from Yates, really nicely executed. Fine young player. So just right, 5 overs, no majors, no wicket for 21. And Lanka to continue from the Diglis end. Bowling to Hamza Shaikh. And he comes and bowls, and Shaikh is on the back foot, punching this out into the covers. Nicely timed, nicely played, but although it passes extra cover, fielder at mid-off as Angelo Matthews comes running around to make sure that there's no addition to the score. Angelo Matthews, who made decent contribution in the second innings yesterday, got a 50, getting himself into a bit of form before the test match. And Ratnayaka is beaten by this one. Massive shout for something, whether it's caught behind or LBW, I'm not entirely sure, but umpire Graham Lloyd is not impressed. Lots of excitement from the Sri Lankan fielders. Not convinced myself that there's quite anything to get so excited about. Just watching a replay. Yeah, just flick the pad, I think, and it's probably outside the off stump. Perhaps umpire's call maybe a little bit high as well, but moral victory for the bowler. Certainly nipped back. Umpire Graham Lloyd just discussing it with Angelo Matthews, who's wandered in from mid-off to have a chat. Shake his forward more solidly to this next one. But good again from Ratnayaka. It's bowled pretty well. This morning, and indeed, as I said in the first innings, when for me he was the pick of the Sri Lankan seam bowling attack. But that one, a little bit short and wide, and a no ball, and Hamza Shaikh capitalises, cutting it away in front of square for 2. No ball as well. So Shaikh, well, he's gone up to 15 on the board, but in fact that was a 2, so it should have gone up to 16. Ratnayaka into him again, he bowls, and this one just played down into the ground, stunned down into the ground, and stops in between the batsman's feet. Scoreboard still not right. It is now. Hamza Shaikh on 16, and that no ball registered as well. So 69 for 2. The Lions needing just a further 53. and it will have been, provided they wrap it up, a fairly satisfactory outing for the young England team. Shaikh on the walk to this one. Ratnaika saw him coming, banged it in short outside the off stump, and he leaves it alone. But yeah, they've seen some of their seamers get a good run out. 3 wickets for Josh Hull in the first innings, 5 for Zaman Akhtar. And those good knocks in the first innings too from Hamza Shaikh out there at the moment, and Casey Aldridge. So it's been a good run out for the England youngsters. Chance for the coaching staff to have a look at 1 or 2. Particularly interested, I think, in the pace bowlers. Ratnaika in again from the Digley St bowls, and this time he's got his man. Nip back, LBW, shout, and umpire Lloyd says, yeah, this time I will raise the finger, and Hamza Shaikh is the first man out today. LBW to Ratnaika for 16, and the lines are 69 for 3.
Hamza Shaikh, LBW to Milan Ratnaika for 29. For 16.
So Ratnaika getting reward for a decent bit of bowling this morning. Couple of shouts earlier, one in particular that looked might have been close, and on that occasion umpire Lloyd says that was hitting, and Ratnaika gets the 3rd wicket in this England Lions innings, which brings the left-handed wicket-keeper batsman James Rew to the crease. Played very well in the first innings. Rew making 22 before he was bowled by Jaya Saraya, and delighted that he joined us here in the commentary box for a while on day 2. Good to hear from him, and a very exciting young player, good wicket-keeper, and very good left-handed batsman in all sorts of contests, white and red ball. Can play various types of innings like many modern players. Comfortable against the white ball, but also a good enough technique to be a significant contributor in red ball cricket as well down at Somerset. Not too far for him to travel home when this game ends. That was the last ball of the over. Jaya Saraya will continue from the New Road end with his left arm spin. So 2 left-handers in at the moment. He will settle into an over the wicket line and be able to stay on that side of the wicket. First ball of the new over just pushed into the offside by Rob Yates. And he goes round the wicket now, Jaya Saraya, and that gives Yates a bit of room, which he uses to good effect, cutting this away on the offside for a single. Lahiru Kumara, the fielder, out by the hospitality marquee. Staying around the wicket for the new batsman. This one just takes Rew on the pad and loops away on the leg side for a leg bye. Prompts a change in the field, might have been a little turn. We've got a leg slip in now, so we've got slip, leg slip, and 2 men on the drive. On the leg side, Rue's response is to sweep down to long leg for a single. Nicely executed by Rue. He's a good sweeper, good reverse sweeper as well. And he is off the mark with that one. Same field for Yates. Pushed out on the offside. In fact, it was Yates who swept, wasn't it? Because Rue got the leg by, so he's not off the mark. I beg your pardon, I wasn't concentrating sufficiently. Rue the leg by, Yates the sweep, and Rue still yet to get off the mark at the end of the over. Joe Soraya going round the wicket to the two left-handers in that over, actually concentrating on bowling a sort of leg stump line, almost just outside leg. 6 overs, no maidens, no wicket for 23 now for the left-arm spinner, and the one successful bowler this morning, Ratnayaka, who picked up the wicket of Hamza Shaikh, LBW 16. He will now continue from the Diglis end, round the wicket to Rob Yates. Good delivery again from Ratnayaka. He's been very accurate this morning. Just a couple of short ones, but nothing particularly loose. Yates, however, with all the time in the world, 50 more needed. He's on 31, and he'll be, I'm sure, in the back of his mind, hoping that he'll still be there when they reach their target. Nice little 50-60 not out would do very nicely for Rob Yates. In response to Anuranga Pereira, I've turned down the effects microphone. It's actually a Sri Lankan journalist that you can hear, who's sitting just outside our commentary box, right underneath where our effects mic is. And it's he who's on the telephone, I think, and you can hear him. But I've turned that down, so you might not hear the sound of the ball on the bat anymore, but at least you won't be disturbed. This one pushed out on the offside by Yates again. Hope that's better. Anuranga. The benefits of the live chat, eh? Ratnayaka again. Yates looking to force this one on the offside, but although he timed it reasonably well, straight to the fielder. Bit of cloud compared to when we started, but it's a pleasant day here in the Midlands. Ratnayaka again bowls, and Yates gets a bit lucky this time. Inside edge, didn't really know where it had gone. Looking to drive it, bat didn't quite come down straight. Picks up a single on the leg side. If you're watching from Sri Lanka. You might not know where exactly Worcester is situated. Pretty much in the middle of England. If you think of the whole of the British Isles, it's sort of the lower half in the middle, fairly near to the Welsh border, not far to the Welsh border, down in the Monmouth direction from Worcester, connected to the southwest of the country by a motorway as well. And there's Ratnayaka bowls round the wicket, Rue defends and there's no run. End of another good over from the tall Sri Lankan seamer. And but yeah, very much in the middle of England, Worcester, and the county of Worcestershire, famous for its fruit growing over the years. Lots of orchards, particularly in the east of the county, and as you go down a little bit further west into Herefordshire, famous for its hops. Quite an agricultural area originally, and one of England's most famous rivers, the River Severn, winds its way through the city, and that's why the floods are a problem. There you go, geography lesson over. Back to the cricket. 73 for 3. The Lions need 49 more to win, and we've got a first change in the bowling with De Silva coming into the attack to replace Jaya Saraya at the New Road end. Took 2 wickets in this innings last night. De Silva 2 for 13 from just 3 overs for the off spinner, and it's a sensible move to bring the off spinner on to bowl around the wicket to the 2 left-handers. Just got to slip in place. And he drops right onto a good length with his first ball.
Food-wise for lunch, I've got some cold baguettes, cheese and pickle, beef, chicken tikka, pasties, Cornish, cheesy, chicken treats.
Beef baguette would be great.
Beef baguette?
Thank you. Just put my lunch order in. Very nice. Thank you very much.
Is it just pretty much the 2 of you today, is it?
Just me.
Is it? Alright, bro.
Oh, playing a miss outside the off stump from Robbie Yates, wicket keeper, who is a different wicket keeper from yesterday. Kusal Mendes having a go with the gloves, which makes sense, as in the first innings we had Chanda Pal keeping wicket, but not much in the way of warm-up cricket for Sri Lanka, so interesting and sensible to give both the keepers a go in this first game. It's a nice shot from Rob Yates, picks up a single. Fielder out on the cover boundary. Yates moves on to 33. Rue still not off the mark. And still not off the mark as he picks out Fielder in the covers with that sweetly timed push. But he is off the mark now because this one a little bit quicker, a little bit shorter. He goes on the back foot, gives himself a bit of room and finds the gap this time. So Rue is 1, Yates is 33. It's the end of the over from De Silva. 2 for 15 now, his figures, and the Lions need a further 47 to win the game. Rue taking guard for the first time at the New Road end, and he will be facing Ratnayaka, who's been impressive again this morning, the tall seamer. 1 for 20 from 5. He's in and he bowls, and Rue times this very nicely off his hip, away in front of square on the leg side, and they go through for 2 runs. Slight misfield out there, but I think they'd have got home anyway. Easy calm on the live chat. Beef baguette sounds nice. Yeah, heard me ordering my lunch. We're using up leftovers here at New Road today, I think. Last day of the game. Not going to go on for much of the day, so I haven't got a full catering team in. But we're always well looked after here at New Road. I'm very fortunate that this is my home ground, as it were. This is where I do a lot of my commentary on Worcestershire games, and a very friendly and hospitable club it is here at Worcestershire. Look after the press and spectators generally very well indeed. Ratnaker in, bowls, Rue defends out on the offside. So 1 man out today, Hamza Shaikh, hero of the first innings with his 92, but LBW this morning to Ratnaker, and he was out for 16. But the only casualty in the first 40 minutes this morning. Ratnaker in again to Rue, and well, nearly another one as Rue's beaten outside the off stump. Didn't carry through to the keeper. Budika Senarath says, why are the weird spellings for some cities, e.g. Worcester, Bicester, which is a funny one, and Hereford? It's another good delivery from Ratnaker, beats Rue outside the off stump. I suppose the answer to that, Budika, is that English is a weird language made up of a sort of hybrid language from various other influences. Latin, a big influence on English. French is a big influence on English. And the history of England and the UK is one of lots of flux and lots of different influences caused by groups that have come into the country centuries gone by. The Romans, the Danes. Ratnaker again leaves the ball alone outside the off stump. The Scandinavians and Romans and the French. Rumour has it that when William the Conqueror first came to England after the Battle of Hastings, 1066, and was given various documents pertaining to the laws and so on of the land, he commented, it's only a rumour, I'm not sure it's a factually absolutely correct story, but it's said that he commented that well, most of this is written in French anyway. Such was the hybrid nature of English at that time. So whether that accounts for names like Bicester, I'm not sure. But it is a funny old language. We've got some very strange pronunciations. As a new over is begun from the New Road end by De Silva, and he's cut away first ball, but a good tumbling stop on the offside by Karunaratne prevents an addition to Yates's score. This time he does pierce the field and gets a single. So Rob Yates moves sedately on to 34. Began the day on 17. He's doubled his score, and just 44 more needed now. And another single here as Rue pushes into the covers. Easy Calm says, is there any chance of rain? No. The weather is nice today here in Worcester and in the UK generally. Set fair for the weekend, I think. It's a very pleasant 20 degrees or so. Sun just coming out as I speak, and Yates cut, no run this time, but no chance of any rain at all according to our weather forecasters until Tuesday, when we might get a light shower, and the weather is pretty much set to stay as it is now until then. Next one from De Silva is pushed through and slightly deceives Rob Yates. And we in this country would regard 2021 as a very pleasant temperature. In Sri Lanka you might think that was a bit cool. De Silva in, bowls and driven nicely by Yates through the covers, just a single. Fielder is out on the cover boundary, that's Kamara. That's the end of the over. Yates keeps the strike. And the total has gone up to 80 for 3. And just a further 42 required. Yeah, we think 2021 a nice comfortable temperature to play cricket in, to watch in generally. A bit warmer than that when I came to Sri Lanka on a cricket tour which I led with a school team and played at Colombo and Kandy. Didn't go to Galle because we were the first tour, literally 1 year, almost to the day following the tsunami, and Galle was still under repair, as it were. But it's an interesting tale, which I might as well recount, since we've probably got quite a few listeners in Sri Lanka. I'll just break off as Ratnayaka bowls and Yates pushes out on the offside, because the tour that I was leading, which was an under-18 schoolboys tour, we were actually due to fly out to Sri Lanka on the very day that the tsunami struck. Indeed, we were on our coach on the way to the airport when all the news came through about the tsunami, and we were desperately trying to make contact with people in Sri Lanka, and eventually we were told not to fly, not to come, and it was hastily abandoned. We were literally on the coach going to the airport. Ratnayaka bowls, turned away on the leg side by Yates. They'll run one, they'll not come back for two. They were thinking about it, but Jayasaraj very quick to come off the boundary. So just a single taken, and we didn't go, and then we rearranged the tour for 1 year later, almost exactly, Christmas holidays here, and out we went to Sri Lanka and had a wonderful time, wonderful tour. Played at the ground at Kandy at Royal College, played in the Premadasa Stadium in Colombo, played at Murali's old school, I think it's St Anthony's College in Kandy. Wonderful experience for the English boys in my team. Ratnayaka around the wicket bowls, and this is pushed into the covers by James Root. But it was a bit hotter than 21 degrees most of the time. Played against some fine young Sri Lankan players. Easy Calm says, I know a guy from New Zealand who considers 20 degrees hot. Yeah, that could be the case. Depends whereabouts in New Zealand, I suppose. Round the wicket, Ratnayaka. Roo pushes out on the offside. In New Zealand it can be very hot at the top of the North Island, almost tropical. Very hot. I've been out there and played cricket and been pretty hot in various places, but then if you go down to the tip of the South Island of New Zealand, it can be very, very cold. There's a huge difference in climate from the tip of the South Island to the northern tip of the North Island, and everything in between. Wonderful country with a tremendous range of geographical features and climate, New Zealand. Ratnayaka round the wicket, Roo drives, but can't beat the field. Testing stuff from Ratnayaka. He's bowled really well this morning. and he's got 2 slips in, plus that gully very square, plus another man just 2 or 3 yards in front of square, but a bit deeper. Man on the drive at short extra, man on the drive at straight silly mid on. So these young English batsmen here being tested by a good spell of bowling from the Diglis end by Ratnayaka. For me, as I've said, the pick of the Sri Lankan seamers in this game. Going round the wicket again there. They're certainly giving nothing away this morning, the Sri Lankans. And Roo is edging this one down to third man for a single, slightly uncertain shot. And Sri Lanka playing with a fair amount of nous this morning, as we call it in this country. A little bit of common sense, making it difficult for the young Lions batsmen. But only one man out so far today. That was Shaikh for 16. It's 82 for 3. 40 more needed. Silver around the wicket, and good solid punch through the covers by James Rowe for a single. And another run for Yates on the offside, this time off the back foot. Agent 9 says Ratnayaka or Lahiru or Ajitha as the third seamer in the first test. Well, on the basis of what I've seen here today, my choice would be Ratnayaka. Not just today, in this game I should say. My choice would be Ratnayaka out of those. De Silva around the wicket, bowls, and Roo is forward to a delivery which is pushed through quite quickly. De Silva again is in and bowls. This one not pushed through quite quickly, floated up outside the off stump and driven very nicely through the covers by James Rowe for a single. Takes him on to 785 for 3. De Silva again a little bit more pace on this one, and nicely played by Rob Yates. Just gets inside it and tucks it away for a single on the leg side. The target falling now to a modest 36. So 39 added so far today. Yates has gone from 17 to 38. Roo has 7 and 1 man out. Shaikh for 16. Steady progress, just what you'd expect. One imagines that as the day goes on, the energy might just be sapped a little bit from the Sri Lankan attack. Not suggesting they'll be tired, but they know that the writing's on the wall, and it's just a matter of time really before this one's wrapped up. Change in the bowling. Lahiru Kamara coming on at the Diglis end. First bowl for him in this innings, and he's going to bowl round the wicket, as you might expect, with the 2 left-handers in. His first ball, tidy enough, defended by Rob Yates. And the first really aggressive shot of the day from Rob Yates, dropped short by Kamara and hammered away for 4 to the leg side boundary by the Warwickshire left-hander. Looking at his bat as though he perhaps didn't time it quite as well as he might, but he gave it a fair old crack and it's raced away. Good shot from Yates. Takes him on to 42. And another good shot, but this time he picks out the fielder at gully. Nicely timed, bit of width outside the off stump, but good diving stop by Fernando in the gully. .90 for 3 then. Yates looks a bit frustrated with this one. I think he thought that it was going to be more of a scoring opportunity. In the end he had to just check his shot on the offside. Better from Kamara. Good again from Kamara, and Yates riding the bounce of that one well. A little bit discomforted by it, but played it nicely. End of the over. One loose ball in it, but came back well after that. De Silva to continue, and we're getting on for an hour's play this morning. In that time the Lions have gone on from their overnight position of 47 for 2 to 90 for 3, and they need just a further 32 runs now for victory. Silva, he's been pretty tidy so far, 2 for 22 off 6 overs. Turn the effects mic back up now because conversations outside appear to have ceased, so you won't be disturbed, but you might be able to hear the players calling to each other and the bat on the ball. Not many spectators in the ground as you'd expect, as we just go through the motions towards the end of this game. De Silva bowls, Roux drives, and it's missed, taken by the keeper, a little bit wide. Bowler disappointed that he didn't get a nick. Another single for Roux here, just tucked up to mid-on. And more runs for Yates here, 2 of them, good running, steered away slightly behind square on the offside, and Yates aware straight away that the fielder out there, Jaya Saraya, is left-handed, had to run to his right to field the ball, pick it up and then sort of check back onto his left foot before throwing in. So they were back for 2. And good bit of fielding this time out in the covers prevents any addition. So end of the over. Yates has 44 now. Rue has 8, and the Lions need just a further 29 runs to wrap things up here. Visit Worcestershire New Road. Successful trip it's been for the Lions down here to Worcester. I think coaches will have learned a little bit, particularly about the seamers. They've seen the youngster Hamza Shaikh show his maturity on his first class debut. Likewise Farhan Ahmed, who picked up 3 wickets in the Sri Lankan second innings. So good experience for the Lions, and a warm up and a bit of a workout for the Sri Lankans ahead of first test. Kamara in again, bowls round the wicket to Rue, tucked away nicely through mid-wicket by the Somerset left-hander, and they'll pick up 2 runs as Milan Ratnayaka does the fielding. Get the feeling they're just hastening towards the victory now. Just 27 more required. A couple of lusty blows and it'll be down into single figures. I don't think we'll be here much more than about another half an hour or so. Sunshine bathing the ground now. The cathedral in the distance looking glorious. Again, I don't know how many of the viewers and listeners in Sri Lanka are aware of the sort of iconic status of this ground in English cricket history. Always where the tours began in the old days, and you might even be able to hear the cathedral bell chiming 12 as I speak. Cathedral tends to dominate the view of this ground if you're looking out from where I am at a sort of wide third man position. It catches your eye, shall we say, and it's a famous view across this ground from the pavilion over towards the wonderful Worcester Cathedral. Hugely important ancient building. King John, former King of England who signed the Magna Carta, buried inside Worcester Cathedral. Famous, though not perhaps for all the right reasons, King John, but it is a wonderful building and well worth having a look round, visiting if you ever come to Worcester. Huge association between this cricket ground and that building. Indeed, the Diglis end, from which Kamara comes in now to bowl to Rue, who hooks this down to a fine leg for a single, is called the Diglis end because of the cathedral, and I'll explain that in a minute. And it also ties into that little bit of chat that we had earlier on about the English language and the French influence, because the French word for church is église, E-G-L-I-S-E. So of the church in French would be d'église, D apostrophe E-G-L-I-S-E, and that area of Worcester at the far end of the ground, and on both sides of the river, but particularly the fast bank from where we're looking, is known as Diglis, D-I-G-L-I-S, which is a slight change of the word as they go through for a leg bite, and it means of the church. So all of that land at that end of the city used to belong to the cathedral, hence d'église, hence a little bit of change into Diglis, and now it's called the Diglis end, and we say it every day. Coming into bowl from the Diglis end, that's where it comes from. All relates back to that wonderful building that we can see on the other side of the river. There you are, you've had geography and history and linguistics this morning in the commentary. And that is a lovely cricket shot from James Rue, just short of a length outside the off stump from Kamara, and punched through the covers for 2 by James Rue. Just 23 more needed now. And we're having a little drinks break. 99 for 3. So players having a drink, umpires having a drink, batsmen having a drink. We've had an hour's play here at New Road. We've had 1 wicket, Hamza Shaikh out for 16, but Rob Yates still there. I said he'd be looking for about a 60 not out, and I reckon that's looking on the cards. 23 more needed. Rue has 13. And we're probably going to see the conclusions of this game in the next half an hour or so. I hope you've enjoyed the coverage, not just today, but over the 4 days. I'm sure we've had lots of viewers in Sri Lanka. Looking at the live chat, most of our viewers and people making comments would seem to be in Sri Lanka. I hope you've enjoyed it. And you can see on the picture now that cathedral that I was talking about, or you could. It's just disappeared now as the camera's focused on the players having a drink again. Thank you for being with us, thank you for watching. As I say, I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you for your comments on the live chat, even though I've been unable to read about 95% of them because they haven't been in English. Apologies for that. You can also message me on Twitter if you would like to, at Frank Watson 58, at Frank Watson, WATSON 58 on Twitter. And it's been a pleasure to have a little look at the Sri Lankans. I wasn't here yesterday, I was at Edgbaston yesterday watching the fantastic game in the Metrobank One Day Cup between local rivals Warwickshire and Worcestershire, which looked for all the world as though it was going Worcestershire's way until brilliant partnership between Will Rhodes, former Warwickshire captain, and Kai Smith, young 19-year-old batsman of high promise who played absolutely brilliantly. 40 odd was his highest list A score before yesterday. He made a quite breathtaking 130 not out, and Warwickshire won with 1 over to spare by 4 wickets. A super game of cricket played by 2 young sides, and although it was a tough one for the Worcestershire supporters to bear after they'd been in such a good position, I think on reflection they will feel like I did that they've had a brilliant campaign, their young players, and it was a very, very good effort by them. We're about to get back underway. Drinks have been taken and there is going to be a change in the bowling. I think De Silva is going to have a little blow. 7 overs, no maidens, 2 for 25. And the left arm spin, Prabhat Jayasuriya is being brought back into the attack. 23 needed. The field is now fairly well spread. Umpire Rob Bailey just checking with the scorers that we're ready to go, and we are back underway. A run for Rob Yates, in fact 2 runs for Rob Yates, good running again. The one thing about these young lions obviously is that they are fairly athletic, and running between the wickets has been good. 2 more to Yates. This game will be over very shortly. Jayasuriya over the wicket again. And Yates just one this time, tucked away on the leg side. 100 is up. 102 for 3, 20 more needed. And Yates nearing that half century that I thought he would have had his eye on. Nice little 50 not out for Yates will do for him today. And he can get in his car and drive up the motorway and go and watch Moseley Cricket Club in the Birmingham League, his home club. Jayasuriya round the wicket to Root, who just tucks him away on the onside. No run this time. Root sweeping at this one, but Jayasuriya might realise as he's bowling round the wicket, unless he's got that one to straighten, it's going to be going on either to miss the off stump or it's going to have pitched outside leg. Tucked away for a single this time on the leg side. So another change. De Silva, having bowled his off spin from this new road end, now coming on at the Diglis end to replace Kumara, who bowled just 2 overs, conceded 9 runs. Ratnayaka easily the pick of the bowlers, 1 for 24 for him, and 103 for 3 as De Silva starts this new over. This one pushed out into the offside for a single.
Thank you. Cool, sir. Enjoy. Thanks. Glad to take that for you, man. Thank you. All right.
So just 18 more needed now. And now 17 as they take another comfortable single. we go. James Rew's had enough. Goes down the pitch to De Silva and lofts him straight down the ground for 6 into the Basil D'Oliveira stand. Lovely shot from James Rew. It won't be long now, everybody. Just 11 more runs required. Rew moves on to 21. Perfectly executed. Straight drive for 6 by the stocky Somerset left-hander. Lovely shot. De Silva, not surprisingly, putting his long off and long on back, not all the way, but bravely throwing that one up and saying to Rew, have another go if you'd like to, and Rew just blocks it on the onside. So the end of the over, 111 for 3. Rob Yates on 48, James Rew on 21. Just 11 more runs needed now for the Lions, and it's been a very sensible and accomplished performance by the Lions in this game, and in particular today by Rob Yates, who has shown great maturity out there. 48 of 67 balls, just 4 fours, but he's been untroubled, and it's been impressive performance from him. And that will be his 50. He's just found the gap on the offside, beautifully timed, and 4 runs through the covers, and 50 for Rob Yates of 68 balls, 5 fours. 20 odd in the first innings, 25 in the first innings, but he's going to get himself a nice little 50 not out here, barring a late disaster, and that's a jolly good effort from Yates. Just 7 needed now. It's Jai bowls, and swept by Yates down to fine leg. They'll pick up a couple more. So just minutes away from the end of this game. I hope you've enjoyed the coverage. As I say, it's been great to have so many people watching from Sri Lanka. And my thanks to you for joining us. Jai bowls to Yates, and he's forward to this one defensively. Inspire Swift saying on the live chat, Sri Lankan Lions will come strongly in the Test series. Well, they'll need to play a bit better than they have here, especially in the first innings here. But then that said, that's why you have warm-up games, isn't it? Mike from Ilminter says, well batted Rob Yates. Yeah, good effort. It's been Mike from Rob Yates. Very sensible, very professional, very good young cricketer. And he gets another run here, just tucking this one away off his pads. Bit of an inside edge really, but that won't bother him. 55 not out. Yates, 4 more to win. I wonder if Rew will try and do it in one go. And he gets another run here, just pushes this one back to the bowler. In fact, end of the over. So 4 needed to win for the England Lions. They're 118 for 3. And this game will be over very shortly. De Silva to continue. It will be the last over. We'll be bowling to Yates. Just pushed out on the offside. In again now. Balls, and Yates drives nicely through the covers for a single. And Ruder's the same. So 2 required. And now just 1 required as Yates picks up another single. So he will finish on 57, one imagines. Score's now level. James Roux on strike, and there is the winning run. James Roux plays it away through the covers, and the game concludes. England Lions winning by 7 wickets, with James Roux finishing unbeaten on 23. Rob Yates, who's been there since the start, unbeaten on 57. The Lions 122 for 3. Just 1 wicket going down today, and that was the wicket of Hamza Shaikh, who was LBW to Ratnayaka for 16. The final bowling figures for Sri Lanka in this innings: Rajita 1 over, no maidens, no wicket for 14. Ratnayaka 7 overs, no maidens, 1 for 24. De Silva 8.5 overs, no maidens, 2 for 37. Jayasuriya 8 overs, no maidens, no wicket for 34. And Kumara 2 overs, no maidens, no wicket for 9. So Sri Lanka 139 and 306. The England Lions 324 and 122 for 3. The Lions win by 7 wickets, and this game is concluded. Thank you very much for being with us. I hope you've enjoyed our coverage on the live stream. And if you're in England, or if you're following domestic cricket, as far as Worcestershire are concerned, we'll be back here at New Road with live stream coverage and commentary on the return to the county championship of Worcestershire when they entertain Kent, and that game will begin on Thursday. Until then, this is Frank Watson saying thank you very much for being with us.